You join us down here for the next instalment of a sessional piece with Dynamite Baits. Now, I've got Al, the cameraman. He's a mate and he's come down for the guestie. This one's going to be about syndicate fishing and the next step and sort of evolution, as it were, of your fishing from maybe say a day ticket to a syndicate, and what you can expect if you do get lucky enough to join a syndicate, and what some of those pros and cons are. So we're going to do some social elements as well as try and catch some of the lovely carp that reside in this lake. And it's not an easy venue, my syndicate, but it does hold some special fish. We've got a few days at our disposal. Al's looking forward to it, I'm looking forward to it. Let's get set up, get some rods out, and then we'll talk again. We started every session like I always do, on a normal walk around the lake. Yeah, I think there was 3 anglers on, and we found out they had nothing. So with not much to go on, me and Al had to use our knowledge, our understanding of the lake, obviously my previous experiences, and we localised them down to the far end of the lake, what I'll call by the slipway. And we found them in some relatively good numbers. From there, we sort of had a who wanted to go where conversation, and Al wanted to be on top of them, and I wanted to stand off them. So we then picked the relevant swims. Al went in nice and cute, light leads, nice setup, minimal baiting. I opted to then fish in towards the middle of the pond, and I gave him a spread of bait.
Now the day soon flew by, but we went to bed pretty confident. And like anything, you wake up and the alarm's a little bit motionless. I was seeing the odd sign, but looking back on the footage, I think my eyesight definitely needs testing because they were tench and not carp, which was a bit of a downer. Also at this point, I'm questioning myself, thinking, you know, are the fish going to return? The weather and everything was all similar. Would they return to that corner where I was fishing? But I was also at this point questioning myself, thinking, if somebody turns up to the point swim, which is kind of opposite us, and it's quite a popular swim, would that then cut, you know, the lines across the lake? Would that then stop the fish coming into the corner? Like anything, every possible scenario goes through your mind when the rods are motionless. So with that in mind, we had a cup of tea. I got up, started to have a little look around the lake. Yeah, and soon transpired that we started seeing a few fish the opposite side.
So what we did, we rung the bell, called it a day, got packed down, headed back down to this end of the lake where we're at now. Moving in, I wanted to fish on the left-hand side, which fished towards a set of snags, and Al went, so we almost flipped the role of what we were doing down the other end of the lake, and Al went into the middle water and I went against the snags. From there, it really didn't take long for us to then notice that this was the right decision. Where we come onto obviously into the teeth of the wind, we saw regular shows. Naturally, you could put that down to a new moon, but that and the drone footage, that obviously when we put the drone up, it was obvious to see that, yeah, they were down here and they were down here in numbers.
You know the spots you fish it, Jace?
Basically, yep. It's one of the advantages of being on the Syndicate for as long as I am. Or have been, sorry. What am I on? 8 years now. So, quick move, quick change of scenery, down to the other end of the lake, gone from lovely warm weather down to cold wind, but it's a fresh wind. So, and we've been down here, well, we first saw something, didn't we, Al? Like probably starting at like 10, and then we see one show, another show, 2 consecutive shows about half hour later. So we had the inkling, and then that basically forced our hand, and we went for a move. So I don't think I fished down this end for about, I'm going to say 3-4 months. And as it does in a weedy lake, things change. And that is what I'm finding out right now, because the spot I knew and fished at the beginning of the year is now not clear. So, adapt and overcome. Right, so happy with the zones now. After thrashing the water to a foam, thank you crosswind, but nonetheless, I found one at around about 22 and a half that's sort of as tight as I dare make it towards the snags, and then another one that's about 18 and a half. I'm happy. I've caught fish from around that zone before, and I've caught fish around the 22 and a half wraps before. So it's just, things change. Like I said earlier, the weeds pushed forward a bit more from the other side of the bank, and that's just ultimately pushed me back, and I'm not entirely happy on my bottom because I like to fish a gravel bottom, but I've got softer gravel there, and I think if I take 3 Ronnies, or Ronchesters as I call them, and present them over the top with some little pink ones or match the hatch, I think we'll be in for a good chat. So the nice thing about fishing this peg is that it's just there, and it means that we can just creep round here, and I'm sure we heard quite a few fish just in and around, nice and close in, catapult range, 18 wraps across, and yeah, moved one of the rods. This is one of the rods I've moved because the fish are on the edge of the tree line but not in the tree line. It means we can fish for them, but I was worried about a kite, so I've come to this little hidey hole, and very convenient, straight in the catapult, and literally is that far back and there. So I've probably put, I reckon, about 1 kilo of boilie over it, and nice, one of those nice pink Ronnies over the top, and I feel confident. I'm happy as Larry, to be fair. I feel like from what we heard and what we've seen, this should produce a pot. That's the one. And how's about that for a midnight cooler? Up a 20 fighting machine that didn't do much fighting, considerably. It got stuck in a weed bed, a bit of to and a fro-in, but then the head got caught in the weed bed, and I just dragged them both in. But can't complain. The amount of fish boshing, I'm confident hopefully in another bite, to be honest with you. So we're going to get her back nice and quick, get that rod back out as fast as I can, and go to bed feeling confident. you join us on morning 2, and it was a much more eventful night last night. We heard a display of fish last night that was crazy. I'm going to say up to 50 shows, I reckon now, something mad like that. They didn't stop. They just did not stop crashing, showing all the way through to this morning. And I think that they were a bit more to my left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and find some areas to the left of where I was fishing last night. I'll leave the one in which I caught on, but I feel like there were so many fish like tucked in to my left that I would be a fool not to try and find something over there and get a rod on it. So that's what I'm going to do now. Yeah, looks good for a day bite. So we just got to keep our fingers crossed. I'm in, mate. I'm in, Hall.
Nice! Nice! All right, mate, I'll let you go.
All right, mate. Well, I was on the phone, wishing that it would go. And sometimes just that little bit of willing is enough to get a bite. Same rod as last night has just gone again. Bit of pandemonium, bit of a quick hang up. But we're into the next one. Got to concentrate a little bit, get it over a weed bed that caused me nothing but pain last night. This is not what we need. The one thing I didn't want it to do. If you could stand up and over. God, this is chaos. Yes, Blaney. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you, Blaney. Just like that. How's about the will? I was on the phone to a lad who fished last night and was willing the rod to go, and bang, on the phone, melter away, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. It's my old mate Horse, 31 pound of lovely looking common. So in the day, love a daytime bite. It means that the baits I thrown sticked out there earlier, done the trick, and all we got to do is repeat process, to be honest with you. So let's get it back, get the shots for the Insta, and go again. It's time to get the rod out after the carnage of the last fish. I mean, now I've had a chance to breathe, I can sort of reference that whole fight. Unfortunately, in the recent winds, there's a tree come down to the right of me in that swim, in between this swim and the next swim. And to say it caused chaos is a bit of an understatement. That's why it's always nice when there's people on hand, on a shoot, and with your friends, to give you a hand if you need it, because I was very much in need of a hand there. The fish, obviously I hooked it around sort of 70 yards, somewhere around there, and it just hard kited right. That then led it over the top of a tree. So rather than try to force that carp back underneath the tree, the easiest option for us there was to get the waders on with the assist of Blaney, the cameraman, and then navigate my way up and then call Blaney back round, get him on the tree, pass him the rod, then go over again and play it in our swim. Fish safety is paramount, and that transpires in your decision-making process. And I was very lucky there that I had people on hand to give us a help when I needed it, really.
So Jason's side was certainly kicking in quite nicely at this point. My side, I was struggling a little bit. I had fish topping on me. I was picking out single PVA bags, then went for a little bit of boilies over the top. But I was being entertained because where the snags were, and there's obviously clearly a lot of traffic from these fish, I was having a good play around with the Insta360 with the camera under the lake, and yeah, testing out new bait, having a little look, seeing their response to it. It was just incredible to see these big fish swimming through. It was just lovely. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with that camera in the snags watching these fish. Jason, Syndicate life.
Indeed. Beer, fire, Boschers.
Plenty of Boschers at the moment, isn't there? It is, it's been an interesting day to say the least. And at night time at the moment, this lake is coming alive, isn't it? Syndicate life, we talk about it, and it's almost like the next step in people's fishing, isn't it? We start off on day tickets, we have a dibble and a dabble here and there and bits and pieces, and then I want to know, like, the pros of a syndicate is something else, isn't it?
When you, I suppose, have sort of cut your teeth across some of the venues across where you're angling at, you put your name down on a lot of different venues, and then you're lucky enough, I suppose, to go for a guestie as we're doing now, with your mate who's on a who's got a syndicate ticket, and you put your name down, and yeah, eventually you might get the call to say that your time is now, sort of thing, really. And it's just a lot of a different scenario syndicate fishing is. Generally, there's less members, so it's less fighting for swims, more luxury in a sense of that then gives you time, space to grow into your environment. That a syndicate just offers you that a little bit more relaxed point of view to enable you to then do more inside your angling.
In terms of angling ability, you know, and you can be any ability to join any syndicate ticket. I'm not talking about that sort of side of thing, but like what I love about it is the ability to understand carp. Like you've told me things like, for instance, every Sunday they have a dog show over there in the corner, and you said you watch it after. As soon as they're gone, the carp are in there straight away. And it's like, for me, it's all them small pieces that you learn, and you can only really learn these sort of things by consistently fishing it, and you understand their habits, where they're going, why they're going there, when they're going to be there. I mean, I know you've been on here for 8 years, which to me is a long time on a syndicate, you know, and I'm not saying like I'm the best angler by any means. I don't want to go there, catch what I want and then bugger off. It's not about that, but I found your interesting reason for fishing it for so long really interesting.
I mean, I knew that my life was going to change quite drastically when this ticket come about. You know, I was moving into the latter part of my 20s, and more responsibility was starting to come my way. That's me away.
We're in.
picked up the rod this time and immediately just started walking back. And it's kind of like a do or die situation with it. You've got to sort of put that rod at max compression. But yeah, she's come away from that now. 2 or 3 of them, hoping that you don't put too much pressure on it and you walk it away. And then you're laughing. You can play the fish with a little bit of ease again. And just hope it doesn't intertwine itself again. And your other lines, to be honest. With a giant light in your face. Whew. It's hard. It's hard to see where it actually is. Thought you were helping me out.
I am. I'm helping you document it.
Well, here we are, as we were rudely interrupted, Al, in our lovely chat. But you don't mind when it's for a carp. I think what we'll do is we'll end our little chat there and we'll reconvene it in the morning, because the fire is out, the beers are drunk, and yeah, it's time for some shut-eye, and we'll catch you in the morning. Well, I said I'd see you in the morning, and what a way to start the morning with a lovely 33 pounder, I think it was. Couldn't really ask for much more than that. It seems to be that it is that same rod, just producing the goods sort of every 12 hours. So, but I'm going to go back over there now and get some bait straight back on there with the throwing stick, as you've been seeing, and hopefully we'll go for again. But nonetheless, I'm made up now. Things are starting to get heavy. Like this fish, I'm starting to get tired. So with that, let's get it back. Let's see if we can go for one more, get some bait over it, and see what happens. So, we're going to take a few seconds to talk about some bait. I, as you can see, like to keep all mine in the van for whenever the session presents itself, really, which for me means that it's shelf life and shelf life only. It leads to a lot of convenience, and in my opinion, if it's good enough for us to eat, then it's good enough for fish to eat. Yes, you get a little bit of air dry, but then I feel like then you can bring that back with a bit of liquid, either the night before or when you first arrive at the lake to your baits. Happy days, there's no difference. I started the session with 15 minnows, so a little bit of the new test bait, as well as some peppered squid, as I always like 2 contrasting boilies, 2 contrasting flavours and colours in my mix, so that it gives the carp an option. And then, because I then moved to the snags, and we found on the underwater footage that the tench were a bit of a nuisance, as well as seagulls being a bit of a nuisance, it meant that then I just went up to a 20mm crab and krill, and then I've been throwing sticking down that line, or handfulling in on another spot there. I really like these 3 baits at the moment. Since obviously it's released with the crab and krill, it has definitely increased my catch rate. Personally, for me, it just has that old school feel, which is something that you don't really smell that much. It just smells like an old tackle shop, to give you a sense of what I think it smells like. And then again, when we introduced the peppered squid, I felt like it complemented the crab and krill very, very nicely. So again, I tend to put those 2 together. I tend to have the peppered squid in a 15mm, and I tend to have the crab and krill in a 20mm. And then obviously the new test bait. I've been slowly introducing that into my lake, and it's just been, sometimes I've just been putting it in the edge, just to see how the fish respond, you know, doing what you're supposed to with a test bait, so that you can give feedback to product development, to make some alterations and changes, and try and do my part for aiding in making a bait more successful for you guys when it gets released. So that's really been my approach this session, and yeah, I hope it helps. So same rod again. They're just loving that exit, but what noticeable thing that gets is that it takes 3 walkbacks of moments of madness before I've taken the stretch out of the line, and then I'm safely away from the snags in which I'm fishing to, which is crazy in reality. But we got it safely away, and then again it's managed to get itself over one of my other rods. So again, don't panic, we just flip the bail arm open. Doesn't look a bad one again. The net. Well, how's about that? They say it's always better to be lucky than good. I would argue a little bit, just to make my head a little bit bigger, that this time round, although I got lucky in the first place, I have managed to keep that luck going my way. 38 pound of lovely Syndicate mirror. What can you say? I'm just going to take my moment with her, get some lovely stills, and say it has been an amazing session now. Happy days.
Let's continue where we left off. I think we got to the stage, well, I know we got to the stage. Basically, I was intrigued because you've done 8 years on this syndicate. Yeah. I can see why, but for me, it's quite a long time. You know, like the longest I've been on a syndicate, a couple of years, but obviously 8 is a good stint, to be fair. But
the reason why is because I knew what was coming up in my life, I suppose, essentially. I was fishing quite a few different venues at the time. And this one became available, and with family coming up very soon in my life, and then again trying to raise said family and more responsibility from my main job, it meant that this ticked all the boxes to sort of nestle myself into, and with the amount of big fish and lovely fish that are in here, that I could sort of just take my time through and enjoy the 8 years and keep coming back with fresh ideas and different times. I only really tend to fish hard in the spring, so that's a short window in reality, and then my life takes over after that. School holidays, trying to keep fit, you know, all of the normal stuff outside of fishing.
So you're not keen, smash it. You've just sort of like chilled out a bit more, fish it in certain times, and then just relax and not,
Yeah.
you know, keep that buzz going for longer.
And yeah, keep the buzz going, and then essentially as well, like if you come down on a Wednesday like we are tonight,
Yeah.
hopefully we get a bit of shots of when the boys come down, and you know, it's boys club, you know. It's
Wednesday night club.
Wednesday night club. Enjoy what you do, and yeah, and just have fun in the best way that you can. And sometimes on a Wednesday, especially, fish are sort of a bit of a secondary.
Nice.
So
nice.
yeah, you know, you take the rough with
Prolong the
smooth.
goodness, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so moving on, I mean, obviously, you've had a nice session. I've not quite got off the mark just yet, but I feel like I'm close.
Yeah.
It's been remarkable since we moved over this side with the amount of fish showing, topping. I'm close to them, just haven't quite fine-tuned it, but there is still time yet.
Yeah, that's it. We've still got one night ahead of us and hopefully an afternoon. And yeah, the bite times yesterday were from about 2:30.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've snuck you into a nice little bay.
Well, I've got to say, not too many people do this, I appreciate it, but obviously most of your fish are coming from one area, aren't they?
Yeah.
But down into the corner where you haven't put a rod yet, there has been a few fish topping. So he's kindly let me have a little fish. So I've got a little snide rod just down here. So
why not? You know, and again, that's one of the luxuries of, like, I'm not, yes, I want to catch.
Yeah.
But is it the entirety of whilst I'm here? You know, our session is about guesty.
Yeah.
And having fun with a mate. And why not? I've caught my quota and I'm happy, I'm content.
Yeah.
And the main aim for me now, anyway, is to try and help you catch one of the nice ones in the lake, really.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, like, it's a weird one because the anticipation of it hopefully happening, I'm buzzing and I'm sort of like just too keen. No, I don't think I'm too keen. I'm quite chilled out. I've got a job to do. I'm doing the job first and then obviously fishing comes second. But like, yeah, it'd be nice to have that one little opportunity just to make the journey home that little bit sweeter.
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
And also, that's what carp fishing is about, isn't it? You know, we've all done a lot of fishing by ourselves. You know, serious fishing by ourselves, chilled fishing by ourselves. But sometimes it's quite nice to sit back, ponder the fat, and chill out and enjoy
catch
it
up.
together. Yeah.
Have a beer, have a mad little game.
Yeah, yep.
And yeah, sit down and enjoy the passing of the time, really.
Yeah. Well, it's finally happened, which is quite nice because I'm not going to lie, I have been questioning a few things, thinking, why on earth has it not gone? They've been showing like mad there, but a little bit of patience and a little perseverance, and to top off an exceptional fish that Jason's just had. Hopefully one will be gracing my net pretty soon. We hope. But I don't admit, a little bit nervous because, you know, it's my first fish from this fishery and I've watched Jason catch some epic fish, and now hopefully it is my turn. So I'll concentrate on landing this and hopefully we get it on the bank. That looks nice. Yes, 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 yes. We've done it. That has been a long few days watching motionless rods, but all has come good in the end. In terms of guest sessions, this one has certainly been well up there. Well, after taking a few photos and videos for Jason, finally I got my reward and it is an absolute stunner. £30 and 4 hours, not that it makes a blind bit of difference. I've had one from here and that's all I wanted before I come, and it's happened. Admittedly, I owe a massive thanks to Jason for letting me poach his swim, but that's what it's all about. And yeah, I shall cherish this moment for a long time, mate. It's been very enjoyable. We've still got the night to go, so we're going to slip this one back and see what happens. But either way, no fish, a few more fish. We had a good time and we are going home happy.
Wow. It's time to just take a breath. The rods are out. Ours obviously had one. Yeah, we're just gonna sit back, cook our final meal, and see what comes of it, really. But all in all, yeah, mega trip. I think we've done the guestie proud. So, fingers crossed. See you in the morning, hopefully with a whacker.
I've done some angling in my lifetime, and what has just happened has been absolutely mental. I've had a take, it's kited round to the corner, I've gone out in my waders, try and get a better angle on it, and at exactly that point I've just gone round the corner, Jason's had a fish, he's had a screaming bite, we're both playing a fish, and at which point, you know, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. He's has unfortunately taken him around that tree, so I've netted this as quick as I can, and basically I've gone out swimming, which I wouldn't recommend, but I've used a tree just to sort of drag me out there, snap the branch off. He's landed that epic fish. He's been part of the Wednesday Club have come over, celebrated, we've had a wicked time. We've both got 30s, we're both happy. I'm also very cold. I'm gonna slip this one back, and this guest session is certainly one I'm gonna remember. Right. You want to give us a speech, Mooney?
Oh,
Get
Wednesday Club.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Lovely, the miniature Nazi. Cracker.
The Nazi is here. This is what Wednesdays are all about.
Yeah, crackers.
Well, Jason, that has been one mad ending to this video. From last night to this morning, we've both packed up early. I've got another filming job. You've got to get back to reality and another job. I'm pretty sure you could stay and catch a few more fish, but like you said earlier in the film, they're going to be there for when you want to return.
Exactly. And that's the joy. We've had a cracking time. It's been good laughs. The boys obviously nipped round last night. Good fires, good food, plenty of fish. So what more can you ask from a guest session?
Not only that, you also managed to sneak another 33 last night as well, which was quite nice, and that sort of ended it quite nicely. I was half expected to wake up in the morning and see you with a fish in the net. Wasn't quite to be. We were close to that big 40, to be fair. I mean, you've had 7 fish, which is remarkable for this sort of water.
You've had 2.
And well, I've had 2, but mainly thanks to you for letting me share in the fun. And literally, no word of a lie, as I'm packing up, they've just started washing over my right-hand spot, which has been untouched for 48 hours and left there. So, but it is what it is. I've had a remarkable time. We've had a remarkable time. Massive thank you to the owners. Massive thank you for you on numerous accounts. I owe you one.
And yeah, if you liked it, please like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.